The founder of Café Kolache in Beaver County had to travel to Texas to repatriate a culinary treat that had long been a staple in the diets of Czech immigrants to our region. It's called a kolache, a slightly sweetened yeast dough that Czechs fill with fruit, meats, cheeses, and vegetables. Kristi and Hugh Harper brought the kolache back to our region. They're the co-owners of Café Kolache in Beaver, Pennsylvania. And welcome. Good to see both of you.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Yeah, I've eaten a lot of pastries in my life. I probably may even have eaten a kolache at some point. I just never knew what it was. Tell me a little bit about what it is and how you found it.
Sure. Well, I actually discovered the kolache in Texas. I lived in Houston, Texas for 11 years, and my very first day of work in the corporate world, someone brought in a dozen fruit-filled kolaches. I took a bite. I thought it was going to be very rich, like a pastry typically is, and it wasn't. It's just a slightly sweetened yeast dough. And there is a big Czech population in Texas. They came through the Gulf of Mexico in the mid-1800s. So that's how the kolaches got there. And I discovered them my first day of work, and I ate them for the next 11 years that I was there.
So there's these cafes, what, all over Texas? You like little pastry shops, and this is what they're serving?
Yes, yes. I was in Houston, so definitely in Houston you can find kolache shops just as you would find a donut shop or a bagel shop around here.
Yeah, well, you're both natives of the region. You would think there must, given the Eastern European population here, people must have been eating these kinds of things in their homes for decades.
Well, yeah, as a matter of fact, my grandmother and her sisters during Christmas and Easter would bake these things, but I had no idea until I met Kristi what they were called. I just ate them and scarfed them up and got heavy during the seasons. But until I met you.
And now you have a name to go with the pastry.
Exactly.
And so you came home, it was kind of post 9/11, right?
Exactly.
And decided to start an entrepreneurial venture, gave up the corporate world.
I did. And actually my first year in Texas, when I started eating kolaches, I talked to a shop owner back then, and he gave me the facts and figures of what it would take to start, and I was just out of college and didn't have the resources, but tucked that piece of paper away. And 8 years later, when I was in grad school, the idea surfaced for me again when I was taking an entrepreneurship class. And then actually post 9/11, that was what really brought me back to the Pittsburgh area and made me rethink what was important, which was home and family. And at that point, I didn't want to stay in the corporate world, so I thought if I could find someone to teach me the kolache business, that I would introduce that to our area. And so I did. I found a man in Texas to train me for an upfront fee. He taught me what I needed to know. And we've been open for almost 10 years.
10 years, that is pretty cool. And you also relocated back to Beaver County and married into this, right?
Yes, I did. After being away for probably about 15 years, I decided after 9/11, similar to Kristi, to come back. I'd been an actor in New York, and actually I was doing what you're doing right now in Japan, believe it or not.
In Japan, okay.
Yeah. And after 9/11, I kind of reassessed what was important. And my family was here, of course, in Beaver County, and I thought, well, why not? Move back, stabilize myself. And of course, my parents, I don't think they were necessarily expecting me to pull up shop and stay at the house for a couple of months anyways, but that's exactly what I did. And during that time, I met her. We fell in love, you know.
There you go, classic love story in Western Pennsylvania. I love it. Well, and obviously fell in love with the kolaches too, because you.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. You fall in love with a girl, the food goes with her. So there's no doubt I can't take that away from her at all.
And so this has obviously 10 years. You've found a following.
We have found a following.
Yeah.
We're in a wonderful community, Beaver. I'm not sure how familiar you are with it, but just wonderful community. People were excited to have us there and to introduce a new product to the area. Actually new to many, but there are those folks who come in whose grandma used to make them and no one's carried on the tradition, and they're very excited to find us. A lot of people, it's surprising to see, who will Google kolaches and transplants from Texas here that want to find them and eat them, that will make their way from the other side of Pittsburgh, from Ohio.
So you're seeing that, I wonder too, because obviously there's so many connections these days between Pittsburgh and Houston and Dallas, Fort Worth. So the Texans who are passing through the region, they're finding you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
as the saying goes, the Texans are coming, the Texans are coming, watch out.
I had a call the other day from someone on the turnpike, you know, we're here, we want to find you, how do we get there?
Oh, is that priceless? That's a lot of fun. And this is something you mentioned is slightly sweet dough, but they put meats and other things. It's not just pastries for dessert, right? Or breakfast?
The very traditional Czech pastries were filled with apricot, poppy seed, nut filling, and cottage cheese and cream cheese. So we do all of those. in Lekvar, which is prune butter. We do that special order. But we also take that same dough and we make cinnamon rolls out of it, cinnamon twist, and then we make breakfast kolaches, which are filled with bacon, eggs, ham, sausage, anything you would eat for breakfast, we put in kolache dough. And then for lunch, they look like mini calzones. We have some cut in half here, and we fill them with anything from spinach and feta to artichokes and sun-dried tomatoes to chicken feet and jalapenos. We've even done an Isley's chip-chopped ham kolache. We've done a pierogi kolache.
I love it. Now, are these for display purposes only? Or
Oh, no.
Absolutely not.
Try a little bite here and just see.
Blueberry.
Oh, I love blueberry. I just got to take a small enough bite. I've learned this on television over the years. You have to be very careful not to overfill your mouth. Well, that is delicious. You're right. The dough is very light and very flavorful.
It is.
I'll have to come check you out. So you're just going to stick with the one shop in Beaver, or do you have grand kolache plans for this part of the United States?
We'll see what happens.
We're in the middle of, you know, as 10 years rolls around, I think we're in a growing position, but you know, we want to do it right, and we want to make sure that our heads are together. I think there are a lot of companies that perhaps grow very large very quickly, but I don't think we're that kind of group.
Right.
You know,
Well,
we
do
have
it right. Make sure you can control the quality, you can deliver the service just the way you want it, and take it one step at a time.
Absolutely.
I think the one thing that we also like to do is we like to consult with the people who have been with us for a really long time. There's a young man, his name is Zach. He's been with us for a number of years, and we consult with him when it comes to certain beverages that we like to make. We have a pastry chef. Her name is Erin, and she is just a dynamo as far as work is concerned, as far as her creativity is concerned. Her pastries are amazing. So there's a lot of people to work with, including our own parents.
Well, it's always about building the great team and having those angels looking over your shoulder.
And our crew is just fabulous. He named a couple, but I just have to say that the bakers get there at 3:30 in the morning to start making these, and they're fabulous and committed.
It's a lifestyle. Well, Kristi and Hugh Harper, congratulations. It's a lot of fun, and everybody will have to go check out Café Kolache in Beaver, Pennsylvania.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Well, thank you. I am, absolutely, especially during the break. Next up, making a case for the 1%, the benefits of private wealth to our regional and national economies. Stay with us.